The poster is being put up. It's senior night for the Northeastern Clinton Central School track team. These are the seniors, and each one of them has an individual poster. And the final one is being installed even as we speak here. It is approaching 4:30 p.m. on May 9th, 2025, and we're in the cafeteria section of the middle school because it's raining outside and they didn't want all these people to have to stand out in the rain for this ceremony. And as soon as the coach, Rob Garand, gets this rolling, which looks like it's going to happen very shortly now, we'll record this. 6 seniors, as you can see. This is what they look like when they're not on the poster. And it looks like Rob is getting ready to.
Senior night recognition. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our booster club for the night display and always supporting their student athletes. Additional thanks to Mrs. Julie Rao, who does a lot of people to give some nice snapshots of our students who are participating. In addition to Calvin Castine, hometown cable, often celebrating again work not just of what's happening in athletics, but all of our students. So many thanks to all of them for supporting the work of our students and also providing memories for them for life. I'm Rob Garand. I'm the girls coach. I'll soon turn it over to Mr. Connell, the boys coach. I have 2 seniors that will be recognizing this evening. I'll be reading their speeches. First, we're going to start off with Cassie Rosia and daughter of Heather Macy and Brian. I would like to start off by saying thank you to my mom for always supporting me and being here whether it's pouring rain or the perfect day. And today is especially for them. Thank you to Coach Garand and Coach Connell for helping and pushing me to become a better version of myself. Thank you to the rest of my family who always supports me. Thank you to the teams I've had over these past 4 years for pushing me to stick to the track and giving me amazing memories that I'll cherish forever. It's sad to see this come to an end, but I'll forever cherish the memories and friendships I've gained as I move on to college. Thank you again to everyone. So Cassie has spent her high school career with us in track. She's done very well. He's known for short distance. She makes her sprints. Good teammate, especially last evening because we're going to actually have 3 4x1 relay teams this evening. She was very instrumental in providing some additional support and care for her fellow teammates. So good teammate, and she will be missed. So again, last call, let's celebrate and give her a 5 to Cassie. Next we have Lindsay Williams, Rita and Jim Williams. As my last senior sports season has come to an end, I am filled with immense gratitude as I reflect on my 4 years of track. I'd like to thank a group of important people who have made all of this possible. Firstly, I'd like to thank our coaches, Mr. Garand and Mr. Connell, for their support and advice. In addition, I'd like to thank my teammates from the past and present who pushed me in practices and made each season enjoyable. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my parents for their sacrifices, support, and dedication to these last 4 years of sports. There will never be enough thank yous to suffice. Lastly, thank you to the Booster Club and everyone who attended our senior. As far as Lindsay, I had Lindsay in cross country and track for her entire career. I can tell you one of the most, I'm not talking just student athletes, one of the most humble, kind young ladies I've ever met, be part of in our program, in addition to representing our school district. So it was probably, I think, a favorite memory for me this year with Lindsay was she's been my first athlete to actually fall on the track during competition. And definitely a second for her, she also almost knocked her sister down in the same race. So that kept her in the family. But Lindsay is going to be a great role model for younger athletes, and she is going to be missed as well. So Lindsay Williams. And before I turn it over to Mr. Connell, I'd just like to say again, thank you to our parents as always. I find track, especially to an area with so many events going on, with all the help and so on. And thank you so much. And nights like this are not easy to be out there for 3 hours. going to try to really get this meet on. We actually had 2 smaller teams today, so that was a great deal. So thank you again to our parents and everybody who attended today. I'll turn it over to Mr. Condell at this time.
So yeah, I have 4 seniors this year, 2 new seniors on the track team this year. I kind of dodged the bullet. I think every one of you is having someone else read their speech today. But I will just quickly, before others read their speech. James, I've had all 4 years of track. This is the first time he's done the dual sport, but he has been somebody that I can rely on every meet to be here. He's very good about just doing it and maybe not being the happiest about it, but he always just ran the races, and I usually put him in the most miserable races. So he handled it well. Cohen, another 2 years now, but Cohen's another one that, again, just throw him wherever he will go, and he'll try it no matter what. He, again, might not be happy with me after the race, but he always does what I ask, and I appreciate that, because track's one of those ones where it can be kind of a grind out there, especially like Mr. Guerin was just saying, on nights like this, it can be a real challenge to be out there, because you don't cancel track for anything. Talon, glad you came out, and actually Dom, both of you, finally getting some seniors to come out. It's too bad I only get 1 year with you. Talon, I know I had you in basketball. I can't appreciate enough that you came out for the team. I think it's a good experience. It might be one of the more difficult sports to be a part of, but I think you're handling it well. And Dominic, I know Mr. Guerin's kind of the driving force of why you're here with cross country, but I cannot say anything bad about you. It's been a pleasure to have you, and I really appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm going to start with James. Do you have reading your speech?
No, I'm just going to wing it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. This is my 5th and hopefully final year of track. There is a love for the sport, but there is a lot of pain in the sport, which I do feel has helped me grow a lot, but at the same time, whatever. But like, I'm glad to be done with it, but I'm very happy I went through it. I would obviously like to thank very much both my coaches, Coach Connell and Mr. Guerin. Connell is my real coach, but Mr. Guerin is he basically is also my coach. I'd very much like to thank my mother, my father, my 3 sisters, very supportive, almost here every single meet that they can be. It's always been really nice. There's only one claim to fame I think I have with this team is, sorry to say this for those weak stomachs, but I was the first person to puke on this track, which I'm very proud of. And yeah, proud of that one. I'll keep going.
You're good to go. Okay. Track is probably the worst experience of my life, knowing that every single meet that we went to, we had almost a 90% chance of losing with our 10-person team compared to Saranac's 50-person team. No matter how much I put in, knowing that it probably wouldn't mean anything. My races were really miserable. Running 2 miles in the rain almost every single meet day was terrible. But it's a good experience. I'm glad I chose to do something with myself in high school and actually run on a team with people, despite that team not being a lot. It's almost more of a family when you don't have 50 people on a team and you actually have to talk with everybody. It means a lot to be here, and I'm glad that my parents allowed me to do this. And that's all.
And today I'll be reading on behalf of Talon Avenue. So, hello everybody. First, I would like to thank my parents for bringing me to all my practices and supporting me at all the meets I had this year. Thanks to Mr. Connell, Mr. Guerin, and Mr. Maston for helping me improve in the few weeks I was a part of the team. I appreciate all my teammates for taking me in with open arms and allowing me to become part of the team. Even though I was on the team for only a few weeks, track and field was an amazing experience, and if I could have joined sooner, I would have. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I've had the privilege to run for our varsity track team over the past season. I'd like to thank Coach Collin and Coach Guerin, our modified coaches, Mr. Masson for helping us be the best we can be. Thank you to my family over there my friends, the good Lord for pushing me through the last couple of months. Thank you to my teammates for making track something I would always look forward to at the end of the day. Thank you all for coming out despite the really bad weather. Our last meet might not be today, but it is soon. We're going to make the most of it. Thank you.
On that note, I would again just want to reiterate thank you to the Booster Club for setting this up. Can't stress that enough. There's enough on our plate throughout the day with coaching and what we do here. So it's really nice to have them come in and set up this nice display for all our seniors, not just in this sport, in any sport. Also want to thank Mr. Calvin Castine for coming and videoing whenever he can, and also thanking Ms. Julie Rao for coming and taking pictures. I know it can be kind of a grind sometimes to get here, but we really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you. We ready to get going? All right, let's get out there.
Okay, that'll wrap up the senior night presentation here. And their display will survive better than the flag football did. They had that outside a couple of days ago, and the wind blew the tent over during the game, and it was kind of a hectic situation. So our congratulations to the senior track stars here at Northeastern Clinton. Okay, Calvin Castine, we've made our way outdoors following that very nice senior gathering, and it's 4x8 is going to start things. It's looks like Northeastern's the only school participating. There are, I believe, 3 schools participating in this track meet. Moriah-Boquet Valley and Boquet Valley, so it's, the valleys are here. The Valley brothers and sisters are here to meet. It's a 4x8, so 2 times around the track. Then they'll hand off, so it's a relatively slow one to start the festivities. There's jumping going on over here. You can see the umbrellas. I've got an umbrella. I'm standing by my car. I am not certain how long I'm going to be here. Depends probably on how heavy my umbrella gets, and also how hard the rain comes. I have the annual confirmation ceremony, I'll call it, at 7 a.m. Excuse me, 7 p.m. I'm okay. I'll be all right. 7 p.m. at it's in St. Joseph's in West Shazy, and involves the parishes of St. Mary's in Champlain, St. Patrick's in Rouse's Point, Sacred Heart in Shazy, and St. Joseph's is in West Shazy. So St. Joseph's Parish in West Shazy. So the 4 parishes are combining. Bishop Terry LaValle, a Northeastern Clinton Central School graduate, I believe class of 74, will be officiating as usual. And we always cover that every year, but we apologize to many of the sports teams this year. It's been a cold, wet year. I've got county legislature responsibilities that take me away sometimes, and there's just been some nights where it's just been so cold and miserable out that I said I just ain't going. I'm not going to go out there and freeze and put my health in danger here. I'm not paid to do this. This is a voluntary thing. We get viewer support occasionally, but nobody pays us to be here. We don't make a dime for whether we show up or don't show up. The only thing we do have for income, as I'm trying to start mentioning now, is we get a little bit of, maybe about a penny every time. Sometimes it's less than that, but when the people watch the commercials, we get about a penny per view on YouTube. So if you see us with 150 views, then maybe we've made $1.50. But I've had some that have had almost 300 views, and we made $1.50. So I'm not quite sure how that works, but last year we made $844 on YouTube. So when we put it on cable, it's public access, so there's no money involved there on our receiving end. So it's a thing we do for the community, but it's nice when the community steps up once in a while and helps us to support our efforts. A little gas money comes in handy. And quite frankly, if I didn't have the income, certainly not a large amount of income, but the income we're getting as county legislator, I wouldn't be able to afford to do this because I just couldn't put the time and effort into it if I'm getting absolutely no income and time to stay home and save my pennies and not be putting gas in my car. So it's actually, if I weren't county legislator, I probably would not be able to afford to get out and cover these events. We try to be fair as much as possible to the schools in our primary viewing area. Of course, YouTube, it's the whole world is our viewership, and on cable, the cable goes far and wide. But our initial areas of coverage, we've tried to be faithful to them. That's northeastern Clinton, Chazy Central, and northern Adirondack. We try to cover them as much as possible. They're in our immediate vicinity. So she's got one more time around. So enough about that. We'll watch the racers. There'll be some sprints coming up following this. Sprints and hurdles. Looks like the hurdles will be first because the hurdles are already out there. We'll try to get a glimpse of a jumper. We can't see the throwers because they're on the other side of the concession building over there, restrooms and so on. But I can't see the throwers, but might be able to occasionally, halfway through the race now, occasionally we'll get a jumper here. Looks like they're raking the track, the landing area. So I don't know if the jumpers are jumping with their hoods on or what. There's our racer. She's way over there, so we'll stay here, focus here, see if we got a jumper coming up. Well, maybe not. So let's go back to the young lady racing through here. She'll be doing her handoff, and the girls will be halfway through. And while we were watching that, it looks like we had a jumper here. And if the wind picks up, my umbrella is going to be a problem. Here's this fellow completing his first lap. Even holding the umbrella right now with a slight breeze is a great difficulty. I got camera in one hand and umbrella in the other. And it doesn't look like there's anybody ready to do our next jump here. Oh, yes there is. Okay. Getting serious now. Taking the sweatshirt off. coming around the bend. I think tennis senior night or maybe golf will be coming up shortly. If I'm not able to be there for them, I'm going to ask the Granny Cam to cover them. And I'm keeping my one eye on the runner and one eye on the jumper here. There's the final handoff. And there's the landing on that jump. And she's got another lap before she can hand off. So they're measuring. For the most part, the races are ones that the officials keep best track of. I don't think there's much officiating as far as the jumps and the throws. The teams get out there and they measure, and nobody wants to win so much that they would change a number. And come on, Richards. He's got another lap. Looks like we got another jumper coming up very shortly. Or two. And she's way over that way. Let's keep an eye here. See if they might be ready for a jump. Let's see. Again, we're battling a slight breeze. There we go. And this will be the final handoff for the girls. Again, the visiting schools don't have participants in this 4x8. Looks like this jumper is ready. I would assume these are practice jumps. Looks like an all sable uniform behind the Cougar. Whether you have an opponent or not, you still want to do your best here. And the Cougars boys have finished their race. The girls have another lap and a half remaining. And here comes the jump. Here he comes.
Second tall, 100, 110 hurdles. Second tall, 100, 110 hurdles.
All right. And this young lady, as I see more raindrops accumulating on my camera lens. So again, we always feel bad when we fail to cover some sports, but we get what we can. And this has been a bad year. There's Julie Martin O'Rell out there getting photos. This is a sable uniform. So it's Sable Valley and Boquet Valley visiting the Cougars. So there's actually more than one meet going on. You've got Northeastern versus both of those schools individually. So that's two meets. And then they are facing each other individually. So that's three meets. So there's 3 meets going on. Northeastern versus Boquet Valley, Northeastern versus AVCS Valley, and AVCS Valley versus Boquet Valley. And we have another jumper coming soon, I guess. The runner's coming down. Are they going to let this girl go, or what's happening here? Final call for the 110 hurdles. And the girl's 4x8 is finished. And we'll get a jumper here. 100-meter dash will follow the hurdles. I think we're going to have the jump. I can't say that for sure here. Don't forget there's a high jump over that way too. So it's not just a long jump here. There's a long jump and there's a triple jump. There's the high jump. Alright, let's go. Or not. I've got my winter coat on with an umbrella. She's got tank top and obviously no sleeves and rain falling on her, so cannot be comfortable out there for the athletes. Cannot be comfortable. I should point out how looks like the gun might be up. There we go. How nice this track is that the Cougars put in a few years back. Looks like this will be the only hurdle event as far as the dash goes. AVCS Valley takes it. So the hurdles will be removed and the dash will come up next. And in the meantime, we apparently had a jumper. I like to jump when my camera's focused somewhere else, I guess. Oops, I'm trying to hold this camera steady. No, looks like they're not ready yet. Just in time for the landing. Looks like the gun is up for the hurdle, no, for the 100 meter, 100, is it 110 or 100? I can't remember which it is. The hurdles are 110 and the regular dash is 100. Gun was up, now they're resetting the racers. Temperature, I believe, is in the 40s. I'll have to check that later. With a steady rain. High today was supposed to be lower 50s. Now the gun is up again. Been covering stuff for 42 years. It'll be on June 7th. It'll be 42 years. Here we go. Cougars 1 and 2, AVCS third. Moriah-Boquet Valley runners. Alright.
Drawing areas are now open for shot put and disc. Drawing areas are now open for shot put and disc.
Alright, still struggling with our umbrella here as we get set for the next one. The race will be for second. And of course, you get volunteers, family members, family from the students run those stopwatches. So this takes a lot of people to pull one of these events off. Every lane has got to have its own stopwatch. As you can see from the flag, it's a steady breeze blowing in on us here. And trying to hold the camera steady and hold the umbrella is a bit of a challenge. Yeah, we're not using a tripod because I don't want to get the tripod all wet. The gun is up. And all aboard, here we go. There's your winner, Moriah-Boquet Valley, Cougar. Cougar was first, of course, but how we're doing with the jumping here. Nobody waiting on a long jump, nobody set for the high jump. Or is the high jump still there? I can't remember now. If they moved it over to the other side, there it is over that side. There it is. I'm looking over here, but the high jump is over there where that mat is. And I don't know if we're done these, or if there's another. Looks like there's yet another one, huh? Well, the Cougars have good numbers for this event. Yeah, so this heat is over. And I hesitate to use the word heat on a cool, wet, windy night. But it's still called a heat. Those are probably the throwers that we're seeing in the background over there. Like there'll be one final heat here for this race. Usually you put your fastest runners against each other, so I doubt if the third or fourth heat ever produces the overall winner. But they get to compete, and here we go. They said the Cougars have good numbers for that event. Looks like we have a long jumper coming up.
Again, this is the final call for the 1 mile race. Final call.
mile race coming up next. Even if the rain lets up or doesn't get any worse, I'm still going to have to leave here about 40 to 45 minutes of my time. Looks like the girls are starting a little short there. The girls are there. Oh. And the boys are off, and the girls are about 100 yards ahead of them, I guess. And we just got a drink here. Thank you to the Cone family for. Hi, Calvin. Thank you. All right. A warm drink on a cold day here, thanks to the Cone family. Meanwhile, back at the race. I guess looking at the Kentucky Derby, every one of the horses that competed in the Kentucky Derby came somewhere from the lines of Secretariat. Secretariat, that was 50 years ago, so it must be several generations down. This is a 1 mile race, so I think that's 4 times around. I think it's 800 around, so it's 4 times around. So the girls just don't do quite the full mile, but they'll do most of a mile. Not sure if the raindrops falling on the umbrella sound is coming through on the microphone, but I can certainly hear them. So that's half a mile. First call 4x1 relay. Oh, that's not a racer. Fooled me. So I'm wondering if Boquet Valley is here, or if they are combined with Sable Valley. So I haven't really seen any Boquet Valley colors. I just mainly noticed the Patriots, not the Griffins. But I'm shooting from a distance here, so I suppose it's possible I'm not picking up those innuendos. I would not want to be competing today in this cool temperature and the rain. And this isn't even the worst weather they've had this year. This isn't even the worst they've had. Look, we have a winner. We have the winner. All right. We should have the girls' winner coming up shortly, but first, we got this runner right here, finishing second. Patriot. Yeah, looks like a Patriot. Is she done? Is she done? Nope. Whoops. There's our winner. There's the winner. Look at all the girls that have finished. Oh, okay. Not sure who the winner is now. Oops, another guy finished here. Normally I'm right at track level, so it's easier to keep track of it at track level, but another lap for him. Final call, 4x1 relays. I think this is our last runner. Next up will be the 4x1s. Alright, first call for the 400 meter after this one. This is the relay. 4x1. Looks like we got a whole passel of runners here. I can only stay for a couple more events. I've got to go home, get dried off, and head for West Shazy. So you got your first lappers, your second lappers, and they set up their place where the handoff are going to be. The runners go to there, and so there'll be 3 handoffs. These are, it's like there's going to be what, 4? Oh no, the boy out there too. Looks like there's 4 girls and 1 boy. So. And that shows you how much of a difference there is, you know, the distance you see between the runners compared to one lane to the other. It gives you, the further out you are, the further you have to run, so they start them so that they're all ending up running the same distance. Once they get into the race, they don't have to stay in their lane. At least I don't think they have to. That's it, and we're off. So the first handoff actually tells you who's in the lead.
Final call, 400 meters. Final call, 400 meters.
We got us a runner here. And then one more handoff, and they've already handed off, it looks like. The boys are running like bullets. So it's going to be a race to the line here. Looks like the Patriots gaining. Like Al Sable will take it. Alright, there's your 4x1. Next is 400 meter coming up. And once again, the throwing takes place way back there, so we don't get to see the throwers. They used to be within viewing. We used to be able to see the throws, but now, when we first started covering this stuff, my brother Sam would come along to a lot of these, and he'd cover the throws and the jumps, and I'd cover the running, and so we'd be able to get all the participants as much as possible. That was 30 years ago or so that we were doing it that way. Again, I would not want to be out there on a cold night like this with a tank top and arms and shoulders getting rained on. It's like 5 lanes, and there's no handoff, so it's running as fast as you can all around the track. The more I think about it, I think on the 4x1, I think you have to stay in your lane. But, on the relay, the longer ones, a mile and so on, I don't think you have to do that because you'd be running further on the outside than you would with the inside runners. Alright, here we go. And we get them coming around the corner here. Looks like it's going to be a race to the finish. Sable Valley has the inside track here. Patriot will win it. Cougar, 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 and Patriot. And the rain is coming down harder right now.
Final call for 400 hurdles. Final call for 400 hurdles.
400 hurdles next. So before we get to the hurdles, we got to do the girls. And when they do the girls, they're doing the girls and boys at the same time in the hurdles. Here we go, set. And we're off. soon as they go through, they can start setting up the hurdles. Boys on the inside and girls will be in lane 3. Once they go by, the hurdles are on the track. We're hearing it from Coach Guerin. So again, we're not sure if Boquet Valley is part of Sable Valley squad. Sometimes schools merge so that they can participate. We haven't seen anybody. It looked like they're running for Boquet Valley. So it might be just Northeastern against Sable Valley, or it might be Northeastern against a combination team. But I have not seen any Boquet Valley runners. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about 18 times in the last 24 hours, so I could be wrong. And there's your first and second. And here comes the last 400-meter runner. Oh, they got those hurdles on the track. A little slow here. They should be started immediately after they went through. Where's the pit crew here? Need more volunteers. That's why if you're a parent here or even a student, I'm sure they'd let students help out. But do things like set the hurdles. Looks like those are set over that way. Or just about. So it'll be a few minutes before they're ready. Which of course is cutting into our availability time here. Alright. Just 3. Outside lane is girls, and 2 inside lanes are boys. So the boys are set just a little bit higher, than what the girls' hurdles are lifted to. Not sure how much longer we're going to stay here, but we'll certainly capture this event. Not sure what's up next. Well, we're nearing the close of our visit here. My right sleeve, it's a winter coat, insulated winter coat, and my right sleeve that's holding the camera is completely soaked. Completely soaked. So we better go home, dry off, and then head for West Shazy, St. Joseph's Church for the 4 parish confirmation ceremony. With our, I know it's not called a ceremony, but that's what I call it. Confirmation event with Bishop Terry LaValle presiding. And this is, of course, what, day after, I guess. Day, I assume it was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday the new pope was chosen. A Prevost. We had Prevosts in this area, so I don't know if he is related to some of our local residents or not. Get set, and they're off. Catch them at the hurdles. Yeah, let's go.
Pass, hurdles off the track. Once they pass, hurdles off the track. Second call, 800 meters.
800 meters sounds like it's the next one, which is twice around the track. And that will, if we stay for that one, it'll probably be our final event. Yeah, we're gonna have our winner.
Final call, 800 meter run. Final call, 800 meter run.
800-meter run is up next, and if they don't take too long, we'll be covering that. Well, that's what our water-soaked shoe looks like.
We are doing our final
Nice to get some extra footage once in a while. So, this will be our last event. If they don't take too long getting it going, a reminder, this is viewer-supported local television. And if you appreciate hometown cable and the 42 years that we've put into covering events for the North Country, we'd appreciate your support so we can continue to do this and continue to afford to keep our YouTube channel going. There'll be lining them up here. It's 800, so 2 times around, so they won't have the staggered start, because once they get separated a little bit, they can move into the inside lane. So the outside runners have a little bit of a disadvantage, but it doesn't last long. Much like the horse races, where once they get separated, when they get your horse to that inside part of the track, I'm going to start with a whistle instead of the gun. And they're off. And they're off. 2 times around. You can see the trees starting to turn green on this May 9th. May 9th is the day I started at Sheridan Iron Works back in 1966. Just maneuvering myself here, standing in mud, so I want to clear a little bit of mud off my shoes before I get in the car. So I apologize for all the events we were not covering as part of today's track meet. Other commitments and inclement weather. There's our leader. So everybody is halfway through. Looks like he'll hold them off. And the boy will finish first. The winning girl, second place. And this is our final runner here. You say the last race, 200? I'll do the 4x. Well, if you're saying 200, we'll stick around. But they better get set up pretty quick. They'll be starting from there. There's a former champion, nationally ranked runner right there in college. Looks like they're about to start. All right, our vehicle now. We can make a quick exit. We parked here in anticipation of possibly recording the whole thing from our vehicle, but we decided to get out in the rain, and once we were soaked, it was all elementary. Holy cow, photo finish. Photo finish. Is that it? Just the three of them? We got girls to come next, probably. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got another runner here. Another runner. $200-meter. He doesn't go for the 100-meter. He goes for the long ones here. 200-meter. The team is cheering him on. Definitely a winner. Definitely a winner running in that cold, wet track. Great job. Okay, glad we stuck around. Not sure if the girls are set to go here. Looks like they're pretty close to it. It's after 6:05 right now on my clock here in the car. So glad we stuck around to get that. The gun is up. When the girls finish, we'll call it a night. I'll call it a night for for track and head for the confirmation. And some dry clothes. Gun is still up. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close one again. 1, 2, close. 3, 4, and there's your 5th runner. So we're gonna wrap it up. So that's the way it was, and CVAC varsity track. And this cool. Let's see. Temperature says 47 on my car here. Wet. Friday afternoon, May 9th, 2025, in beautiful downtown Champlain. Thanks for watching. And for those of you who support viewer-supported local television, hometown cable TV worthy of your support, thank you for watching.